Hello and welcome to SteveKnows. Today it's the VR weekly news update and we have new Quest features, the future of VR with VR glasses, and new games coming soon, and so much more. Also, apologies for being MIA. I've had a lot going on in my life. My father passed, and since then I've had things going on every weekend, so the news updates have been lacking. But I'm here now, I'm here for VR, and I think that is enough chin wagging. Let's get started. So let's start off with some new avatar wizardry, where Meta's researchers have taken their photorealistic codec avatars and given them hair upgrades without ever having to catch a flight to Turkey. The project for this is called Haircup, which sounds more like a heavily accented dragon rider. This is an AI-driven system that lets your avatar's hair not only look more natural, but you can actually change it. So one day it may feel like rocking out with a mullet, or pulling out the alpaca top. This is exactly the kind of thing you want to see in VR. Do you want to be the exact representation of yourself in this virtual world where possibilities are actually limitless? You have the power to do anything, but no, I will be me, exactly as I am. Powerful stuff. So this also got a tech upgrade, the codec avatars, around how the light passes through the hair, how the shadows change, even the little bounce you get when you move your head, which always reminds me of the animation from the Final Fantasy movies, Advent Child and Spirit Within. Oh, this is still research though, not something we're going to get tomorrow in Horizon Worlds, but pretty sweet. And speaking of making things feel more alive, our old friend Luna has found a little gem buried within the Quest's code related to some rumours that we spoke about last week, well, the week before, that we had been hearing around 2D to 3D image conversion. So according to the strings found, you can drop in a flat photograph and it will generate a stereoscopic view of that photograph, so you have depth. You can view that photo in VR like you're peering into a diorama, and I'm kind of impressed that we've managed to stick in the word diorama, because it's not every day you get to use that. So it seems to create these layers in the image that give this 3D movie look, a little bit like a parallax if you've seen those, often in game loading screens. The power of this is amazing, to be able to view your childhood photographs, old holidays where you went away, as if you were there viewing it once again. We've got spatial video support, we've got the panorama 360 view option, we now will have the 3D imagery added to that list. Now this new feature is something I mentioned in my last video. I mentioned new customization options coming soon to the Quest, deeper avatar customization, but I didn't know exactly what. I speculated, but it now seems it turned out the character customization is turned into something that reminds me of Oblivion or an Elder Scrolls game where you create your character at the beginning. Very detailed. We get more body shapes, detailed facial adjustments, and an AI outfit assistant that acts like your own personal stylist, where you can give it prompts around, I want to be rocking, I'm going to a party, I'm going to a concert, and it will give you an outfit. So it will dress you like you're a toddler. But they took this a step further with a proportion slider, so you can adjust your torso to leg ratio, which I always find funny because my wife and I laugh that I've got the shorter legs with the long torso, and she's got these long ass legs and a little torso, and we hope that our future child gets the right mix, because if it goes the other way, well, we're gonna have a munchkin. I'm genuinely curious because I sit in the camp where I never really engage with the use of my avatar in anything. So do you guys use your avatar? And if you're using it, what for? Because I think this is a cool update, but I'm just not gonna make use of it. Okay, let's step into the future now and hype over the possibility of seeing VR glasses in our lifetime. So Meta and Stanford University have teamed up to create holographic VR glasses, which, kind of a fun fact, Wolf in VR and I were hanging out in a hotel lobby in California, and a Stanford professor actually recognized us and came to say hello. So I wonder if they're involved in this project, and if you're watching this now, hello to you, sir. So they're using something called synthetic aperture waveguide holography, which put simply is bending, reflecting, and focusing light waves through a wafer-thin optical layer, which is what allows them to have this really, really thin form factor, like a pair of glasses. Glasses that can deliver a wider field of view for VR imagery without strapping a toaster to your face. I'm looking at you, Pimax. Plus, because it's guiding real light waves to the eye to create the imagery, it also solves the vergence accommodation conflict issue, which is a really interesting problem in VR around how your eyes converge on a single point, and you don't get a focus change because you're just looking at this kind of static screen. I'll link a video down below for you to watch. It's really interesting if you're into VR. On to some game news now, and finally Syberia VR has dropped some gameplay footage, and it's looking rather true to the original adventure games where, if you're old enough like me, you would have played them. They are point and click mystery puzzlers. So you are in a snowy town solving mechanical puzzles, talking to quirky characters, and slowly peeling back those onion layers to uncover the mystery of Hans Vorarlberg, I hope I said that right, who's off looking for remnants of mammoths from the past. But it's nice to see, unlike the original, you will not just be clicking things, you will be interacting with the world physically by opening drawers, turning cranks, picking up objects, interacting with the universe. Because if it was going to be a point and click in VR, I would have been disappointed. Like, what? What are you doing? Cash grab, but no. And given the series' reputation for strong narrative, and viewing the trailer, I expect plenty of moments where you can just stand there taking in the scenery, because it does look pretty beautiful at times. Looks really good, although some of the capture looks a little jittery, but it doesn't seem like it's the game. It seems more like it was the rendering of the video. I won't be able to confirm until I play it. Over on Quest TV, something a little more thrilling. Crushing a can of Red Bull. Red Bull's got a free adrenaline hit for you called Touching the Sky, which is not the quote, but you get it if you know. It's a 3D 360 documentary that follows Highline athletes strung across the Dolomites, which is just mad. They are massive snow-covered mountains in Italy. So obviously, being able to view that in a high-quality 3D 360 video, the shots are absolutely stunning. And but it puts you right there. You can look around, even look down when someone told you not to do it. But I like this because it shows VR giving us the opportunity to experience something that I would not otherwise would have experienced. And I wouldn't have gone out of my way to try and experience or risk my life either. So this one I actually found amusing. I played this game when it was in early, I can't stress it enough, early alpha. And this is from the sportswear brand Asics. No joke, I couldn't believe it. Asics, they have made a VR arcade game called Disc, and it's a completely free game, and it's a mix between, think, air hockey and frisbee. It's probably a pretty good explanation, in a glowing neon futuristic court. So you're smacking this disc around, throwing it, bouncing it off walls, trying to score goals, and it has fast-paced action, cool effects. But it's a really simple premise, but it is fun and it's free. It's quick matches, perfect for hopping in with a friend for a few rounds. And given that it's Asics, I wouldn't be completely surprised if in future they are going to offer you microtransaction cosmetics. You want to wear our shoes? We've been a little tame here, so if you're after something more violent, I've been waiting to see the final results of this game for a while. So Boxing UnderDog is finally here in early access, and you'll start from nothing. You'll train in the gym and work your way up through the ranks, through fights to become the ultimate champion. A boxing game that I believe uses motion capture for its opponents as well, for real authentic movements, including realistic physics. So you won't be dealing with like these pre-renders. When you knock someone out, they will literally drop like a sack of potatoes. And you may recognize it from its bare knuckle violence that was being advertised previously, which now, instead of being the game, is actually just a game mode. It's no longer the core thing. This game also uses hand tracking, so you're throwing real jabs, hooks, uppercuts. Could be more dangerous if someone's walking past, with story elements too. So you'll have rivalries, maybe a Rocky montage or two. I think it looks fantastic, and I'm going to dive in this weekend 100%, get nice and sweaty. I love boxing. Moving on to the quickfire news, where you get the headlines, and that's pretty much enough for you to get the gist of the story. So Meta Reality Labs' revenue is up thanks to software and service sales, but more specifically, the smart glasses line has been popping off. The Quest headset sales, though, have been dropping. And it's kind of counteracting and skewing the data that looks like they're making more money than before, but really, Quest isn't doing so well. But something more exciting, the official Spotify web application on Quest is finally on the Horizon store, so no more sideloading. You'll be able to play music in the background while you play your video games. It's like living my gaming life again back in 2005. Why did it take 20 years for this to be a thing again? A new Meta Quest game coming soon called Cybrid. Nice, cyber hybrid. Coming soon on September 5th. It looks to be an extension of Pistol Whip, a Pistol Whip clone, where you're shooting and dodging to the musical beat. If you're into that, it's coming soon. And according to Meta, after they'd analysed some data and did some research, the sweet spot for a VR session is 20 to 40 minutes for the best comfort and the best engagement. And I say never! I jump between, I wish I had 20 minutes to play, and I'm playing this until this mother bad boy dies. 20 to 40 minutes. Gosh. It's like a single game of contractors, isn't it? So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Hopefully there was something here for you to get excited about VR, whether it be games or new exciting tech. Please don't hit subscribe to avoid knowing what's coming up next. Please don't hit subscribe to avoid knowing more about VR in the coming weeks. But more importantly, have a great week. Happy gaming. Good day.